BBL 851, turn right, heading 180. 14 Papa, turn right 245, report localizer established 27.
So you're sitting down, reading a book maybe, and a thought popped into your head. Can I buy an aircraft like the Boeing 747 right now without an airline? Don't worry, you're not alone. I've had that thought many times, and today I'll take a look at just how viable purchasing a Boeing 747 is for someone like us within the world that likely isn't the executive of an airline or a royal prince. The simple answer is yes, it is possible, but the process overall is not exactly that easy, and that is what I'm going to be covering in this video today. First of all, the costs to purchase a Boeing 747 are well out of most people's reach. A Boeing 747 new can cost well over $100 million. Nowadays, though, it is possible to find cheaper 747s that have, say, been retired, scrapped, been in service for decades, or are in poor condition. The poor condition naturally ties directly into an aircraft being scrapped. Or I guess you could really centre that around not being cared for well enough after its retirement. However, there's many things to consider, like your purpose, space, and checks. Nowadays, an aircraft that has had a very lengthy but healthy shelf life can cost you maybe $50 million or lower. However, there are cheaper ones available on the off chance that they are capable of flying again, and you can get these for something like $10-15 million, although I'd add they are indeed rarer to find and don't appear as often naturally. The ones that you find are cheaper, and even the ones that can cost $50 million do need thorough checks, a C-check and multiple other checks inside the aircraft. The engines need to be checked, the avionics, the computers inside the aircraft, the cockpit, basic things like seats, wings, and so forth. It's important to, if you want the aircraft, of course, to make sure it actually will operate how you wish, and naturally to fly it. In some cases, you'll actually be looking at paying more for the checks, maintenance, restoring the aircraft, than purchasing it to begin with, and that is something you'd have to keep in mind. However, there's more problems than just that. You'll also need the space to park the aircraft. Now, it's not uncommon for aircraft to be purchased and used as display. If that's the case, you'd need a property or location to store it. But if we're looking at purchasing one and bringing it fully back to life to actually fly it, it'll need to be stored at an airport capable of holding it, and also an airfield that the jet can take off and land from if you have the intention of, say, flying it. There's no point, say, purchasing a Boeing 747, storing it at a location where the runway cannot actually take the aircraft itself. That would mean that you would not be able to realistically take off on the runway, and it would be stuck there unless it is moved. And moving a completed Boeing 747 when not flying it is incredibly difficult. This, of course, though, limits you and your options, and with that, the price likely to have a spot will only rise for you, and that's another one of the added costs that I've briefly touched on in this video. To actually have the aircraft flying, you'll also need jet fuel, which will cost a sizable amount and set you back tens of thousands of dollars per flight. The Boeing 747 is, as we know, not exactly an efficient aircraft and will chew through the fuel per flight very quickly, which inevitably is going to cost a lot of money. Fuel, though, by no means is the last of it. There's a wide range of other costs involved, even minute ones that maybe you or I had not thought of originally. ETOPS is another thing to consider. Should you want to fly the Boeing 747 longer distances, you'll need to get all the appropriate certifications and checks to do so, and by doing that, you'll need to prove that you're able to fly the aircraft, which can make it quite difficult depending on your geographic location that you want the Boeing 747 to be located. So, can you buy a 747? Well, the question is similar to that of a car. Can you buy a mansion? Can you buy the most expensive car? You can, but it is out of reach for many people, and it's while we don't see it happen to, say, every single person in the world. While the cost of the aircraft itself might not look too bad comparing it to a brand new aircraft, what'll really kill your pocket is the maintenance and actually getting it set up and flying it around. There's a reason airlines retire aircraft as they get older. They're no longer feasible to operate them and simply cost way too much for it to actually make any type of profit. And considering we're not filling these aircraft up, it will not make you a profit. It's more of a passion project, if you will. You'd also need tens upon tens of millions of dollars in the bank, even in the hundreds of millions, to actually get all the maintenance checks done and have the aircraft flying for enough time to enjoy it, which is simply out of reach unless you're a royal prince or a billionaire, or of course someone already in the aviation industry. But our perfect proof is Avatar Airlines, who have the business model of using Boeing 747s on domestic flights throughout America. They have an established business plan and do have some investors, but that's never taken off the ground. So who's to say an independent person trying to purchase a Boeing 747 to fly it will work either? Hate to crush the dreams, but of course it's not exactly the most realistic option. This is why many people go towards Cessnas or lighter aircraft like that, even private jets. They're smaller, easier to park, more fuel efficient, and overall a better choice. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know, but until the next one, see you next time.